Dark of winter, soft and still, your quiet calm surrounds me. Let my thoughts go where they will, ease my mind profoundly, and then my soul will sing a song, a blessed song of love eternal, gentle darkness, soft and still. Bring your quiet to me. Darkness, soothe my weary eyes, that I may see more clearly. When my heart with sorrow cries, comfort and caress me, and then my soul may hear a voice, a still small voice of love eternal. Darkness, when my fears arise, let your peace flow through me. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. stillness, hold the stillness, let the stillness carry me. Find the silence, hold the silence, let the silence carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony. Seek the essence, hold the essence, let the essence carry me. Let me flower, help me flower, watch me flower, carry me. In the heat and slows the pace. God it is who speaks and makes us, knows our being face to face, making space within our thinking, lifting shades to show the sun, raising courage when we're shrinking, finding scope for faith begun. In the Spirit, let us travel, open to each other's prayer. Let our loves and fears unravel, celebrate the space we gain. There's a place for deepest dreaming. There's a time for heart to care. In the Spirit's lively scheming, there is always room to spare.
Good morning and Happy New Year. Welcome to the Boulder Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship on this New Year's Day. I'm Reverend Lydia Ferrante Roseberry, recording this service at the fellowship the week before Christmas. You'll see me among the Zoom group today as well, as I'll be leading joys and concerns in the pastoral prayer live. I'm joined in our sanctuary today with Karen Griglack, our service associate, and Deborah Mensch, who you can't see, who is providing excellent technical support. Our words, along with spoken video and music, has been pulled together by Deborah to create this pre-recorded New Year's Day service for all of you. Let's center ourselves right now and really take in the welcome words.
You are all welcome here today.
In all the beauty of languages, cultures, skin tones, shapes, and sizes that come together in your uniqueness, you are welcome here.
In all of the ways you express and experience gender, you are welcome here.
In the beauty that is who you love and how you love, you are welcome here.
In all of the ways you make your living and the places that you are from, you are welcome here.
With all of the traditions that inform your spiritual life, you're welcome here.
No matter how long you are away, nor how soon till you return, you are welcome here.
And whether you come today with laughter in your heart or with tears, you are welcome here.
You are invited to join us with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands. We welcome you today.
We acknowledge that the land surrounding us is the territory of the Arapaho people, and that many native people roamed freely on this land for millennia before the arrival of white settlers. And we commit ourselves as a community to be a center for spiritual exploration and justice making, and to anti-racism and anti-oppression work within and beyond our congregation. If you're new here today, we're glad you found us and hope you can experience the warmth and love of this congregation even through Zoom.
Each Sunday is different here, so please come back a few times, in person or on Zoom, to really get to know us.
We will also have many opportunities during the week for social connection and spiritual growth, so check out the links in the chat. And finally, if you're a newcomer, we invite you to introduce yourself in the chat. We love to know who's among us.
So if all of you at home would like to light your chalice while I light our fellowship chalice, go ahead and write in the chat where your chalice is being lit from, Karen in Longmont. Follow along with me. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action. And now I'll go sing our bowl again to draw you deeper into this moment and to our at-home community.
Ah, New Year's. This is the time of year when we can feel bombarded with all those messages that we just haven't been doing it right yet. The it, of course, is our lives. We hear that the turning of the year is a time to start the new you. A regular exercise routine, a new diet. It's time to declutter and then, of course, buy more stuff because it's on sale after the holidays and become the you that you're supposed to be, driven by other people's expectations of what that you is. Now, if I weren't speaking from the pulpit, I'd have a few choice words about this not enough, buy more messaging. But because this is a G-rated Zoom service, I'll just say, phooey. What if instead the start of the new year with its still darkened days were a time to look within, to recommit yourself in a different way, to ask yourself some brave questions like, am I living the life I want to live? To what am I dedicating my time? Does it match what I most value? In this year, if this year, 2023, were my last, how would I want to spend it? May this offering of poems and music this morning inspire your own reflective process as you enter into this new year. And may it be a time where you can push aside the expectations of others, the expectations that have been driven into us from our consumerist culture, and really, really find your center.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and whatever this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the way. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the way. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
And we begin with the words of Howard Thurman and his poem, My High Resolve. Keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve. Despite the dullness and barrenness of the days that pass, if I search with due diligence, I can always find a deposit left by some former radiance. But I had forgotten. At the time, it was full-orbed, glorious, and resplendent. I was sure that I would never forget. I had forgotten how easy it is to forget. There was no intent to betray what seemed so sure at the time. My response was whole. It was clean, authentic. But little by little, there crept into my life the dust and grit of the journey. Details, lower level demands, all kinds of cross currents. Nothing momentous, nothing overwhelming, nothing flagrant, just wear and tear. If there had been some direct challenge, a clear-cut issue, I would have fought it to the end and beyond. In the quietness of this place, surrounded by the all-pervading presence of God, my heart whispers, keep fresh before me the moments of my high resolve, that in fair weather or in foul, in good times or in tempests, in the days when the darkness and the foes are nameless or familiar, I may not forget that to which my life is committed. And now we offer you this video, taking some of the other words of Howard Thurman and setting them to music.
When the song of the angels is stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and princesses are home, when the shepherds are back with their flock, the work of Christmas begins. To find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among people, to make music in the heart.
In her book, Emotional Agility, Dr. Susan David writes, "We all have the tendency to simply plow ahead with blinders on, just getting through the day. If we need guidance, we look around and check out what other people are doing, mindlessly choosing all sorts of things that we've been told are universal keys to satisfaction. Such as," she says, "a college education, home ownership, and having children. In fact, these are not for everyone. It's just a lot faster and easier to follow what we see than to work it out for ourselves." My colleague, the Reverend Kim Crawford Harvey, says these are harsh words. It's hard to imagine us as people just kind of following the herd. Dr. David continues, "Other people's actions and choices affect us more than we realize on every level through a fascinating phenomena called social contagion." It sounds like a virus, and it kind of works that way, but even more broadly than that. In a marketing study at Stanford University that tracked more than 250,000 airline passengers, it proved that we're a whopping 30% more likely to make an in-flight purchase if our seatmate does. Just by the random person next to you, you would be more likely to make a different choice. And our own risk of getting divorced, a decision you'd think would be deeply personal, is higher if other couples in our peer group are also splitting up. And in fact, if your friends of friends are splitting up, studies show that you are more likely to be considering divorce. And I can actually remember a time in my life when I was living at Nyland Co-housing when there was just one of those moments where all sorts of relationships were being fractured and changed, and those rose up in me as well. I'm grateful to say that I am still with my husband after those years. That was about a decade ago. So it can be hard to find our center and stay in our center. It's hard spiritual work, but I believe it's worth it. And ironically, but perhaps not because of our theology, being in a religious community, being in a Unitarian Universalist religious community, may be helpful for us in finding our center, because we believe in everyone's free and responsible search for truth and meaning. And so instead of being a community where we try and kind of herd everybody in one direction, we can imagine ourselves as a community that nurtures and supports one another for finding our center. Now imagine these words, or listen carefully to these words and the upcoming words and videos that may help us think about how we do that for ourselves.
The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth, then took the other as just as fair and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
Each week, we remind ourselves of the abundance of our lives and this community by giving half of our plate away to those organizations that share our values. However, over the end of the year holidays, we dedicate our full plate to the Minister's Discretionary Fund. The Minister's Discretionary Fund enables Reverend Lydia to provide support for those among us who are going through unexpected financial challenges. In the past year, Reverend Lydia has supported people who needed extra help with expenses associated with a move and travel expenses for someone to visit family during a medical crisis. You can text your donation at the number on the screen. Please give generously, as you so often do. And as our musical reflection begins, we want to invite you to reflect upon and write into the chat your answer to the following question. How do you find your center? for the work of this fellowship, bringing love, reason, compassion, and justice to this world, and for the minister's discretionary fund, we dedicate these offerings.
My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, the far-off hymn that hails the new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What though the tempest around me roars? I know the truth it liveth. What though the darkness around me close? Songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging. Since love prevails in heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble as they hear the bells of freedom ringing, when friends rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? To prison cell and dungeon vile, our thoughts to them are winging. When friends by shame are undefiled, how can I keep from singing?
Even This Is Enough by Vanessa Southern. So much undone, so much to do, so much to heal in us and the world, so much to acquire: a meal, a healthy body, a fit one, a lover, a job, a better job. Proof we have and are enough, just around the corner of now. And up against it, the reality of all that falls short and the limits of today. We honor the limits. If your body won't do what it used to, for right now, let it be enough. If your mind won't stop racing or can't think of the word, let it be enough. If you're here utterly alone and in despair, be all that here with us. If today you cannot sing because your throat hurts or you don't have the heart for music, be silent. When the offering plate goes around, if you don't have money to give or the heart to give, let it pass. The world won't stop spinning on our axis if you don't rise to all occasions today. Love won't cease to flow in your direction. Your heart won't stop beating. All hope won't be lost. You are part of the plan for this world's salvation. Of that, I have no doubt. The world needs its oceans of people striving to be good, to carry us to the shores of hope and wash fear from the beachheads and cleanse all wounds so that they can heal. But oceans are big, And I am sure there are parts that don't feel up to the task of the whole some days. Rest if you must. And then, like the swimmer lying on her back who floats, or the hawk carried on cushions of air, rest in pews made to hold weary lives, in space carved out for the doing of nothing much but being. Perhaps then you will feel in your bones, in your weary heart, the aching, healing sense that this is enough. Even this, that we are enough, you are enough. Enough. And for these and all the meditations of our hearts unspoken in this hour, I say, Amen, and I say, blessed be.
Beloveds, here we are on New Year's Day, starting the year afresh. It is a day when we look back at what has come before, the challenges that have been overcome, the worries that still reside with us, the gratitudes for the life that we have been able to live, for the very gift of life. As a Louisvillian, I am also very conscious that today is just a couple of days past the anniversary of the Marshall Fire and how many of us were so deeply, deeply impacted. And those of us in Louisville and Superior who are still, many people still recovering, still not in their homes, let us reach out to those who are still in that place of recovering from that trauma, of having lost everything and rebuilding their physical lives again. Some of them finding new places to live, some of them waiting for where they were living to be rebuilt. And all that we have been through as a community this past year, having survived the largest wildfire, the most destructive wildfire in Colorado's history. And yet we are here. And through this year, we have been here for each other, being the web of connection, the web of hope, the web of possibility for one another. Being so imperfectly, being so with our human frailties, but being so with our hearts, connecting to one another as best we can, knowing and hoping that we know that it is enough. May you know that you are enough. As my colleague Victoria Safford said, in our days when we feel like we can barely lift our heads off the pillow, remember that you are enough and that there is a community to hold you, to walk with you, to sit with you, to offer you what you need. And even if it is that you need to step back, that this community, these doors are open for you whenever it is you may choose or want to be back. Today, let us imagine the possibility of peace in the world, the possibility of peace for those in the Ukraine, for their humanity of all involved in this brutal, brutal struggle. Let us remember the power of kindness, of service, and of generosity to truly transform the world. Whether it is in our small interpersonal relationships or in the way we reach out to help those halfway across the world and who are struggling for their lives and their country. May we, as we enter into this new year, find our personal center, understand where it is that our values are held so dear that we cannot help but move from that place. And together, as a community, be healing agents to one another. May it be so. Blessed be.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul.
I have one announcement this morning for you. Our Inquirer series of classes will continue on January 8th, next Sunday, after the service in the sanctuary. This 9-week series will repeat throughout the fellowship year, and newcomers and long-timers alike can drop into any class and learn more about fellowship life. The class on January 8th will talk about our small group ministries, which is a great way for people to get connected to others in the congregation. And that includes both covenant groups and affinity groups, which are groups of people with similar interests or similar identities coming together. So I hope you'll join me on January 8th.
I'd like you all to join with me in saying our chalice extinguishing words that are in your chat. We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, nor the energy of action. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again.
Happy New Year, beloveds. May we go forth this year finding our center so that we may act with the love and justice that is in our hearts. May it be so.